I had work yesterday, and I was working overtime. But you know, it was all right. But it was just like, goddamn, like my Saturday was like just like fucking gone. But today we're not talking about my job or anything like that. We're talking about the original pioneers. We're talking about the new pioneers. I think this is probably the last video that I've never made in the channel. Rank wise, stable wise, you could call it whatever you want. But the purpose of this video is just to inspire like a new group of guys or a new group of girls or just a new group in general that, you know, everyone, you're just playing with each other, you get along and you want to make a difference, right? This is for you guys. So anyways, let's get this started. Before I start like playing like the racing game, because we've never done like anything Need for Speed, and I love car games and stuff like that. I want like WWE to do the car games, because when it comes to racing games, Jabbar, you know, he's an actual mechanic in real life like WWE, and he can show you guys some amazing fucking footage and shit. Like, I'm pretty good myself, but I think he's the better driver than me. But anyways, so on to the clip. So the original pioneers, who are they? Well, there was 5 original pioneers in MVP. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I got to get online after this. So there was 5 guys in MVP. These 5 people symbolized everything that 5 people are supposed to symbolize when you start a clan. You see, like, yeah, people start clans and shit now, but they always have like one figurehead. They always have like one guy who's the head, and he's the organizer, and whatever he says goes, and whatever he comes up with goes, and everyone's just gotta go with it. But what made us original pioneers, like, especially when you guys see me in my emblem how it says original, like, we were guys that we really didn't care about being leader, but we were guys like, if one guy was to like leave or go away, we still have 4 other guys that can probably maintain that position and probably become a captain and really change the landscape of MVP. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys each of the 5 guys. I'll probably explain a little brief about them, not too long. Like, I'm trying to make this video maybe like 20 minutes or 15. So the first guy was WWE. He was a part of the original pioneers. There's a lot of things I can say about Jabbar. You know, he was my mentor. I looked up to him. He was my best friend. He's my best friend in real life. And you know, he always had this way of when he used to play COD, when we were playing in Black Ops 1 and shit. Like, hold on, I gotta route my engine. He always had like this intensity with him. Like, he used to take matches very seriously and stuff like that. And like, he was an amazing strategist. Like, I was kind of a hothead Call of Duty player. Like, I never used to think of where people are gonna go or anything like that. I used to just just go the obvious ways on a map. Jabbar, he was the kind of person that he would flank behind you and shit, and he would take the sides of the map, and I always thought that always took too long. So he was always MVP's strategist, you know, and he took everything seriously, and he played phenomenal. Back in the day, Jabbar, he used to drop, Jabbar, he used to drop, like, chopper gunner. He used to drop the highest streaks of Black Ops 1, and he was, like, a guy that I used to like try to rival with to be at the top of the leaderboard, because he was my best friend. But Jabbar was just that awesome. I got my ass kicked. Well, Jabbar was just like that guy that I can always count on, and he was like always here when I wasn't here. And anytime there was an issue, he would always be that figurehead, that guy that everybody looks up to really resolve it. So Aleem was just naturally one of the original pioneers, and he's really done a lot of things to help MVP. Like, how do I get to my garage? This engine shit is too loud. No, how do I? Fuck. He was always that guy. Fuck. What did Aleem do during? Trying to remember. Like sometimes when I was a member, like I was an asshole, and like Aleem sort of always used to keep me calm. Like I used to start a lot of shit with people, and I would get challenged to 1v1s all the time naturally, so I always was winning, and I was really cocky bitch. But Aleem really sort of showed me like what type of leader I'm supposed to be for MVP, and I always appreciated that of him over the years. Like, okay, hold on, let me just get in my garage because it's kind of hard to talk. Motherfucker, mate! Oh my god! These guys don't even want me to go in my garage. Head ass. Fuck. So now I can actually talk. It's hard talking with the music and a thing. So yeah, like Aleem really showed me what a leader's supposed to be. Like the decisions I make now and how MVP's been going on 8 years and everything like that. Like he's really been there. And you know, even the first cap thought, you know, Jabbar, you know, he was one of the top 3 best players in the fam. So he was a part of the original Pioneers. So next is Your Face is Bleeding. Your Face is Bleeding was a guy in first gen that I met in Black Ops 1. I guess I was online and I see this guy playing, and you know, usually I try to go for the guy that's the best player on the team. He was the best player, so naturally me and him are just going head to head. He's throwing semtexes, he's shooting me with guns, I'm shooting him, I'm killing him off his streaks, he's killing me off my streaks. We're both trying to lead our team to the victory. What made us original Pioneers were that we all in our mind want to win. We all want to be first place. We all want to be that guy, right? That's what made us good. That's what made us great. Your Face is Bleeding had that intensity. He's a little older than me, and yeah, he was a strategist too, but like he really had a passion for the COD game, and he really just knew how to carry a team. So naturally me and him always got along, and he became like one of my best rivals in MVP. I think I have 4. I think it's Edward, WWE, Your Face is Bleeding. Did I say Edward? Edward, WWE. Edward, WWE, Your Face is Bleeding. Yeah, so if I, and Party, Leaf Boys for Life. So my 4 top rivals in MVP are Edward, WWE, Your Face is Bleeding, and Leaf Boys for Life. Okay, these guys are complete tryhards, and they've given me a lot of advice over the years, and we've kicked a lot of ass. Your Face is Bleeding was the kind of guy that, like, any match we go into, he's sort of checking everyone's stats, trying to let everybody know, you know, what we're going to be up against and stuff like that. And I was the hothead, so obviously I want to fight. Like, I don't give a fuck what his score per minute is, right? Because in my mind, I felt like I had the best team in the whole world. So that was Your Face is Bleeding. And then we get to Hiram. Hiram, he's from 2nd gen. He's not 1st gen like Your Face is Bleeding in WWE, but he was brought in by Your Face is Bleeding in 2012. And when I met Justin, who goes by the name Tranny About now, you know, he was older than me too, but he still had that passion and he still had that intensity, but he was a solo player. You know what I mean? So he knows how to carry himself, he knows how to get a lot of kills, and he knows how to be a leader. And that's what made the original Pioneers so connected. Because when we played a match, we're not saying, oh, go left, go right. No, we're just playing as if we're all fucking solo players. We just randomly were on the same team. But then after a while playing every single day, then we were capable of talking about life and talking about other things while playing COD. But the very first year of MVP was serious. The very first 2 years. So Hiram was the kind of guy that he liked playing with first gen and first gen only. He rarely played with his own gen. He rarely played with third gen or anything like that. He only liked to play with Your Face Is Bleeding, me, and literally the original Pioneers. That's it. So what made him a part of the original Pioneers is just the fact that he was ambitious and he was a great player, and he was like one of those guys that if you give him a chance, he can do absolutely anything, right? The next guy was Riker. Riker, you would have to say, is every underdog that was ever an MVP. Like underdog meaning like, you know, you were a shit player and then eventually you like got good, or you came in MVP, you weren't really that great. Like you were okay, but you're losing matches, and then as the months and as the year goes by, you're starting to gradually win and people are starting to see that you're that guy. That was Riker. So before any underdog, he is the original underdog of MVP. Okay, this guy, he knew where he stood amongst the Pioneers. He knew he wasn't as good as all of us. But the thing is, Riker, unlike any other underdog in MVP that needs tutoring, that needs training, that needs advice, he was the kind of guy that knew what he can do in a match. So he put elements that he was weak at and elements that he was good at, and he brought that to the team. So that allowed us to go all out with no mercy. So any UAV or any score streak the other team got, he destroyed it, he blew it up. Karin from 6th Gen, when I told him about Riker and I read his MVP chapter to him, Karin became that guy. Karin knows he's not the greatest player, but he knows his strengths and weaknesses. So anytime when they get a score streak or anything, you know, he's the first one to blow it the fuck up, the first one to allow our team to have all the advantage and all the onslaught. So the thing I like about Riker is that he was an underdog, but he had an ambition to be a great player, and he looked up to me, and he was probably the funniest guy I've ever talked to in all MVP. Like every day when you, like, that's the thing. Like I said before, the original Pioneers, we played serious. You know, we weren't talking, we weren't strategizing. Right when that match starts, it's like we black out. You know, we don't know each other. We're just, you know, all trying to aim to get the most kills. Obviously, 9 times out of 10, I was mostly always first place. Or if I was legging, it would be WWE or Your Face Is Bleeding. But 9 times out of 10, I was always first place. But Riker, you know, he was just that guy that just, I would have to say he's a big reason why MVP is always having like fun and we fuck around and sometimes we crack jokes, and even when it's a serious match or a clan war, we're still having a good time and everything. Riker brought that freedom in MVP, that breathe, like it's not all serious, you know what I mean? So that's what I respect about a guy like him. The other guy I would have to say is original Pioneers. It was WWE, it was Your Face Is Bleeding, it was Hiram, it was Riker. So I guess it's me now. So yeah, so what is there to say about cheesemo? Like I could talk about other people, but every time I talk about myself, it's kind of hard. I guess what made me original Pioneer was because I was sort of the founder of MVP, and in my mind when I was like 14, 15, I said to myself, you know, I have to be the best. In order to be the best, I got to take out the best. And it didn't matter what day it was, it didn't matter how long I was playing or how tired, I had to be first place. Something about first place just, you know, it struck me, and I needed to be the best no matter what. I was trained by the first cap, I needed to be the best at all times. But that was stressing me the fuck out. And then not being able to beat Edward, it's kind of like, at that time, well, like I was able to beat him. I'm probably still the only person that has beaten him, but it was one of those things where it's like any person I fought, whether clan war or anything 1v1, I always won because I pictured Edward as that guy, and I had to beat down this man in order to be the best. And in the first gen, I didn't have a mic, so I had to show something with my kills. Like if I joined a match or I got invited, I had to show that, you know, I'm a good asset to the team despite not even having a mic. And everyone was okay with that. And it was weird how everyone sort of, like, your Faces Bleeding would send me messages. He had a mic and he would talk. But it's crazy how we're talking as if like I'm actually there. I'm not just like this fucking bot or just this OP person and I'm just there to be used or anything like that. Like family, right? So that was like the first 5. That was the original Pioneers. Like I would add Edward into it, but he was the first cap, so you already know what type of responsibilities and position he had. So now we get to 2013. I'm trying to speed this up. We get to 2013 and the first cap, he brings in Hockey Gagney, he brings in Codfather, and he brings in Gabe. These 3 guys were brought in by the first cap, my mentor, introduced me to COD. So obviously these guys were destined for greatness, and above all else, they're in my very first generation when I was second cap, right? So I already knew these 3 guys had it. You know, why I chose to pass the torch and sort of make the new Pioneers is because MVP hit its 3rd year, and I wanted new guys to bring a new fresh air to MVP. Like it's a new generation, and I wanted to see what these guys can do, right? And these guys, I'm telling you, man, they really took the ball. They carried every team. They won online. They were amazing at 1v1s. They had an ambition of being, well, they never had you see, 2013 was a time where everyone was okay with me being second cap and no more caps. No 3rd, no 4th, no 5th, no nothing. They were okay with just me. Like I did such a good job as a member and a lieutenant for 2 years, and then now cap. Everyone was like, you know, Cheese can really carry this fam on his shoulders and everything would be perfect. If we get another cap, they'll fuck it all up. They'll do something terrible, right? In my mind at the time, from, I don't know if you guys watched the last video of MVP, the legacy of the previous 4 caps, but like I was saying in that video, I was thinking between ego and future. So I chose future instead of my own ego, which is why we still have captains to this day. But yeah, the new Pioneers, they were guys that had traits like the originals, and they were guys that I felt were going to be here from when we get to our 8th birthday, which is this year, and the 9th year, and they're still around. They're still online. They're still playing. All it takes is a text message. These guys are here, and these guys are ready to fucking go. These guys are even in task force. That's how good they are. But since they've been the new Pioneers for like nearly 6 years now, it's time to include them in the original Pioneers bracket. And now it is time to focus on who will be the new Pioneers MVP. Now, to become a new Pioneer, you don't really become it. You play the way you play and you act the way you act. I guess it would just take someone like me just to see that you're that guy. Since Hiram wasn't a part of first gen and he was one of the original Pioneers, meant that you don't really have to be from the same generation. Like Hockey Gagney, Gabe, and Codfather, they were all from 3rd gen, and they were the best and strongest players in 3rd gen. They were trained by both me and the first cap. So these guys, you can already see them on a pedestal. They're so fucking tryhard. They're so good. I don't even think I can beat them now, especially with work and everything. But those were the guys. Okay, let's find let's do a mission or a race, and then end the clip. I don't want to do a hot pursuit. I don't think I will win. It's hard for me to talk and race at the same time. But those were the guys. What I'm looking for going into 2019, which is our 9th birthday, I'm looking for new Pioneers, okay? Now, the original Pioneers were 5 guys. The new Pioneers were 3 guys. 3 guys. So, I want to see who has that that ability, like that ambition. Like who's a person that you're like a person that you carry a team every day, all day, no matter what. You have an ambition to be Cap. You have an ambition or a desire for the future. You have ideas and you want to contribute. You want to be here like forever, and you want to just see where MVP goes in the next 8 years, right? I'm looking for these people, and I'm telling you, I forgot how to do all my my turbo. Oh, that's turbo, okay. And I'm looking for like the new people that are gonna really make a name for themselves, okay? Like, yeah, we got a lot of great players that we had this year, but what you got to understand in MVP is that every year there's always going to be new players, new competition, new obstacles, harder people to beat. You know what I mean? So when you hear shit about people going undefeated for 3 years, that's like going undefeated for 3 generations. Like, I've done that, right? Wow, that was a terrible drift. Edward's been undefeated 6 years. Dojo Mo went undefeated 2 years in sniping. Breezy's been undefeated since, what was it, 2014? So he's been undefeated, what, 4 years? Like, I think it's one of those where you haven't made it until you made a name for yourself in the fam. And the only way to do that is to consistently do 1v1s. Now, like I said earlier in the video, the original Pioneers, at the time, we're just trying to win consistently and be the best, you know? We weren't thinking, oh, let's become Cap or anything. I wasn't thinking about that at the time. I didn't care. Just as long as we won and we had a good time, we were having fun. Right? Holy fuck, look at that guy. So, what I want you guys to think of when you watch this clip is, can I be a new Pioneer? Don't ask me if I can be a new Pioneer or what it takes, because what it takes to become a Pioneer is someone who has contributed to the fam in a huge way. You know what I mean? I was here from day one, and I wrote a whole book. You know what I mean? Like, I know who is that guy. You know, I wish we could have more girls with that same intensity, but you know, all I want is for these kids or teenagers or adults that come in the fam to really like feel that they're a part of something that's real, organized, and that they can look back to. They can take a break, go on vacation, they can have kids and tell them stories and everything and be like, yeah, you know, MVP was a lot of fun and I learned a lot of things and I beat a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? That's all I want. Nothing more, nothing less, I guess. But I like being original Pioneer. I really respected it. During that time period, everyone was sort of wanting me to become Cap and everything like that. And I didn't know if I wanted to, because I thought, like, okay, if I become Cap now, that means I gotta be like Edward and be like an epic tryhard. And not only an epic tryhard, but even better than Edward. Plus, I would have to put myself on a pedestal, which is like better than everyone, and I didn't want to be symbolized as that. I wanted your faces bleeding to be second Cap. I asked Hiram, I asked everyone, because I know these guys have that potential. And I didn't want to make it seem like, oh, you know, just because I'm the founder, I gotta be that guy. But they all told me, you know, like I deserve it, and they all trusted me. So I made sure not to let MVP die, and I've carried this fam on my shoulders, and there's 4 captains that I'm proud of. So, okay, after I beat this guy, I'm gonna end the clip. So all I just expect is just really respect what Pioneers do in MVP, and really try to, like, I don't know, make like a group of people that you play with consistently in the fam, that invite me to your party, let me see what you guys should do on a weekly basis or a daily basis in COD. And then I think I would know then. I think the next phase that we should go through in the fam is create stables. As in everybody has like a group of people that they like to play with. They don't have to always play with these people. I don't expect that to ever happen. But what I mean in the sense of that is like, there's just people that share the same intensity you do. I guess that's an easier way to determine who a new pioneer would be or would look like. So keep that in mind. Stay tuned to more videos. There's gonna be a Christmas special. I don't know what game that's gonna be on, but I gotta make the Christmas special at least funnier than the one we did. I think it was last year. That one was a lot of funny. I was playing with Leaf Boys for Life. Ah, fuck me! I didn't talk about him. All right, real quick. So, Leaf Boys for Life. We went to high school together. He used to wake me up in the morning, throw snow at my window and rocks and sand and all kinds of shit to wake me up because I was always late. And we were starting freshman year and all that shit. But Party was the kind of guy that, fuck you! Oh my god, man. How much people gonna hit me? Like, what the fuck? Oh my god, the hideout is all the way back there. I'm dead. Great. Party played like a lot of zombies, and we used to like 1v1 each other all the time to see who's better. You know, I talked a lot of shit when I was younger, so he used to shut me up always. You know, it's one of those things when you're a member and you sort of know like your origin story, like you know where you come from, like yeah, the first cap and all this, but Party didn't give a shit about all that. Party knew that he was the best, but he didn't brag about it. He had to show me the hard way. He used to kick my ass a lot of times, and I used to kick his ass a lot of times, but that all helps us in the end. Party's just the kind of guy that you just playing the game, you know what I mean? If he tries to go for becoming cap, I think he could do it. Since Black Ops 4 is a ground-based game, I think he would be naturally really good. But like I said, this isn't like we're all teenagers like we were in high school playing like in all the old generations in MVP. Like we're like adults and we have cars we gotta pay for, we got houses we gotta pay for, we got jobs and girlfriends and all that shit. So anyways, he became an original pioneer because he was just one of the greatest players I have ever fought in MVP, hands down. I've like faced everyone in MVP, but literally my top 4 greatest rivals are Edward, WWE, Your Face is Billy, and Leaf Boys for Life, hands down. They're the greatest players I've ever seen play this game, ever. But that ends this clip. I'm gonna try to get online to see what everybody's up to, and the purpose of this clip is just to aim high. There's a lot of ranks in the fam you can sink your teeth in, and I think I have all the not I think all those videos of any rank that you want to know about is in the channel, and you can just listen to and try to do that. But always remember, if you're a member right now, aim to be captain, okay? Because captain puts you on a pedestal, and captain proves that of everyone in the fam, you were that person. You were that guy or that girl that just made those requirements. You went up against every single player in the fam that is literally a tryhard, and you won. So that's what MVP is all about. So I'll catch you guys later. I'm done.